This is the coolant that now we are using, engine ice. So this has been proven to be very effective to cool down the engine and control the heat. So approximately one can is around 1.8 liters. So both the cans together is around less than 4 liters approx. So now we are going to use it. So again we have removed all the fairings to change the coolant on both the sides. Now we are going to change the coolant, engine coolant. So now this is the cap. So first we have to release the pressure from the cap without removing it completely. And once we have released it, now you can see that we are releasing the pressure from the cap. And now again we have to block it. So the air has been released. So now we are going to release the cap of the water pump. So as you can see, so you should the procedure is very meticulous. You should do it with care. And now we are going to lose the cap. So it is an alternate procedure. So once the cap is being released, the air is being let out, and the other side the air is being released, and here the coolant is being drained. So the coolant is being drained here. Alternately we are releasing the cap over there. So the radiator cap is being released gradually and the coolant is being drained here. So this is the alternate process. So you should do it slowly. As you can see how pressure the coolant is being drained. So before draining the coolant, make sure that the engine is completely cooled down. Okay, if not the coolant will be damn hot. So make sure that the engine is completely cooled down and then follow the procedures. So now the coolant has been released from the water pump, but now here there is residual coolant along the pipe. So this has to be released, because there you can see a U-turn up, so the coolant is still stuck over here, as well as in the radiator you can see this part the coolant is still in the bottom. So this has to be released. So now we are going to remove the clip from the pipe and release the residual coolant from the pipe. So all this has to be done with care. So as you can see, now we have removed the tube which was connecting to the water pump, and now the coolant has been released from the tube also. So the residual coolant from the tube has been released. So now the coolant from the tube has been released, the residual coolant. Now the residual coolant in the radiator, that is below the outlet. So the coolant is still stuck over here. This has to be removed in order to replace the new coolant. So now we are going to use a syringe and tube. So like a suction mechanism, we are going to do a suction mechanism to drain the coolant from the tube. The cap is open. Now we have passed the tube inside the cap, radiator cap, and we are using the syringe to remove the residual coolant that was below the outlet, radiator outlet. So this has to be done. So in order to completely remove the old stuff and replace it with a new one. So this has to be done. If not, the residual coolant will be in place and get contaminated with the new coolant. Now we are going to remove the coolant from the reservoir. As you can see, we have removed the cap from here. So this is the reservoir from excess coolant has been stored here. So we are going to remove that also. So now we have the reservoir pipe over there. So we have to remove the clip and remove the cap. There is the reservoir tube. So we have to remove the coolant. So make sure that the root of the tube is in proper alignment. So the tube is being removed gradually up to the reservoir. So as you can see, So it has been connected to the reservoir. So that is the reservoir cap. So the reservoir tube has been removed, and you can see the coolant being flushed. See, the coolant is coming from the reservoir. The cap has been opened. We have opened the cap for a better view of it. So it's completely drained. It's completely drained from the reservoir. The distilled water, deionized battery water. So we are pouring it into the can. So now we are placing the funnel onto the reservoir, and we are pouring the distilled water to clean it. So we are filling the water, the distilled water onto the reservoir. As you can see, the water is, you can see the water level in the reservoir being filled. And here, as the distilled water is being poured into the reservoir, it is being cleared. All the residual coolant, the old coolant is being cleared. So once you can see the clear water, we have to stop. So now the distilled water is coming out from the reservoir. So all the residual coolant, the green color, has been flushed out, and its pure water is coming out. So routed the pipe, reservoir pipe, to its original position, and now we are going to fix it next to the radiator. So this is the original position. So it has to be routed properly. The radiator outlet pipe is being fixed back. It has to be fixed properly without any air intake. And you have to apply on the clip. So you can see the clip over here. So this has to be applied to make it airtight. So the clip is being moved into position and applied. So this is the radiator. The radiator is being filled with the distilled water. So once it fills, then the distilled water is going to come out through the water pump. So now, as you can see, the distilled water is being poured into the radiator cap. Now you can see the color change from green to white. So now the coolant is being completely flushed out from the radiator, the tubes and the engine block. Now the color is being changed to white from green. So now we are closing the water pump cap. Now we are going to completely fill the radiator with the distilled water and use the flush. Now we are going to use the flush, liquid moly flush, into the radiator and then start the engine. And we are using 100 ml of the flush. With the coolant, the flush is being added, 100 ml. The flush is being added along with the distilled water. So we have to do all these procedures because we are changing the coolant from motor to engine ice. So now we are closing the cap, radiator cap, after using the flush, after pouring into the flush. And now we are going to start the engine so that the distilled water along with the flush is being circulated completely into the engine, and then we have to again drain it and fill it with engine ice. So now we have to start the engine for 10 minutes. Once the fan gets started, we have to off the engine and again flush it out. Now after idling for some time, the fan got on and off, and now we have to make sure that the bike is completely cooled down in order to remove all the expanded coolant. coolant. The residual blocks that has been stuck in the engine and on the pipelines, so that has to be drained. Now we are draining the distilled water with the flush from the water pump. All that was sticking with the engine, so all the existing old coolant is being flushed out. Now again we are pouring distilled water into the radiator cap and we are flushing it out here. So now as you can see, the color has been completely changed to white, so the distilled water has completely flushed out all the residual coolant. Now again we are repeating the same process of removing the radiator outlet to drain the remaining distilled water outside. Now we are removing the residual distilled water that has been collected in the lower part of the radiator. We are flushing it out. So we have to complete till all the residual distilled water has been removed. See, as you can see now, we have got clear distilled water coming out from the radiator. So it indicates that we have flushed out all the residual old coolant. You can see the collection, the green color collection over there, yeah. So that has to be flushed. That has been collected when the engine was started in idle. So that has to be flushed in order to fill in with the new coolant. So now we are following the same procedure of removing the pipe of the reservoir from the near to the cap of the radiator cap and to drain it. So now again you can see we are draining the residual coolant, the old coolant. So that has to be completed by again filling the reservoir with the reservoir with the distilled water, and again it's getting drained here. So the reservoir has also been completely drained of the old coolant. Now we are following the same process of routing back the reservoir tube back into its place up to the radiator cap where it has to be fixed. Now we are putting in the drain plug, the water pump to fill in the new coolant engine ice, and we are connecting in the outlet pipe from the radiator back into the tube to the engine pump. So we are reversing all the process to make sure that there is no leak. So the clip has to be carefully placed to make it watertight and airtight, leak proof. So now we are going to pour the new coolant engine ice, the high performance coolant, into the radiator. So as you can see, we are going to fill it with engine ice in the radiator. So while pouring the coolant, make sure that you press the tubes over here in order to remove all the air bubbles. Now you can see the new coolant is coming. It's blue in color. Okay. So now we are tightening back the cap, the water pump cap. So now we have released all the air bubbles. Pouring in the second can. The first can has been completed. Now we are pouring in the second can. Now we have finished. The coolant has been poured and now we have closed the cap, radiator cap, and any spillage has to be completely cleaned. Any spillage of the coolant is being cleaned. The reservoir is being filled with the coolant. The reservoir has been completely filled with the blue coolant engine ice. So it indicates the high level. So the high level has been filled and now we are placing the cap. Which we make sure that the cap is tight enough. If not, there's a chance of the cap coming out. starting the engine to make sure that the coolant is flowing throughout the pipelines and completely the coolant is flowing throughout the pipelines and the engine cylinders. And also we are checking for any leaks coming out from the pipelines. We have to wait till the fan is getting on and then again it gets off, so it indicates that the coolant has circulated throughout the engine and all the moving parts and the pipes. And now they are fixing the fairings and the work is complete. Hi friends, don't forget to press the bell icon, like, share and subscribe, and do give a big thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching my videos.